All right, well,
Well,
look,
this time it'll be
um,
perfect.
I don't expect a huge turnout right now because of the last minute nature of scheduling this, but I did want to get an AMA on the books and speak to some of the FUD that's been happening over the last few weeks, and my radio silence. And that's, the FUDers are good. They take advantage of opportunity play and opportunity moments like that, and it's really hard. Even mods, even team members who are struggling to get a hold of me were like, what the hell, right? Is this true? Maybe he is, dipping to Mexico. Makes no sense with such a small liquidity and such great potential in this project, but it can be vexing. And so, uh, frustratingly, I've been having some medical issues um, that I don't go into great detail with, but um, they're sort of chronic issues, but they're manageable. Kind of, if you've been around the project.
Oh, you've cut out from you, dude. You said better on the project, and then it stops.
I don't know why it keeps muting me. Um, I'm young. I'm going to bounce back and everything, but there's an adjustment period where I'm adjusting to some medications and new routines, and so sometimes I just seem to fall off the face of the earth, and this all happened like right after we listed and over the holidays, so I hadn't yet had a chance to fully flesh out the leadership team and fully redefine the sort of pivoted strategy that I thought we should take for development. Um, and we hired two new developers, so this was all just very, very inconvenient timing. And then we listed on Bitmart, and we didn't do anything. We didn't do any promotions. We didn't do any AMAs. They were scratching their head, right? So all of that's going to start coming back online. Um, and yeah, I can tell you that uh, we've we've just entered into another listing agreement with our second centralized exchange, and it's bigger than Bitmart. So we're
Nice.
going to announce that probably towards the end of this week, in coordination with them. But you know, I want to emphasize something else here, because the fudders seem to, you know, tell this very alluring tale of how we're scamming and we're doing all this fraud. And it's like, well, our whole purpose, our whole shtick is that the public ledger on Ethereum blockchain affords us all the receipts. If you think that we're scamming, show the receipts. And it you better just catch us. It's that simple. And but of course it's not there. Um, and you know, we have not knocked on any doors. We have not cold called any exchanges, and we've been approached and courted by 11 so far. 11. And do you think that these exchanges are all idiots? You think that their biz dev teams are going to fall for rug pulls and scams like the fuckers are trying to claim, right? These are very smart people, and I'm having incredible conversations with them, and we are so fortunate that they to be in this position where we get to, pick and choose our spots. Um, a lot of projects they try to list on every single exchange just for the marketing moment, right? But that can actually really hurt the project. A lot of times you list on an exchange, and then you notice that the price dumps or the price bleeds because that exchange is doing one unidirectional arbitrage. And these are things that we've partnered with a market maker, professional market maker who works on a major metaverse project, to make sure that doesn't happen to us. And he's been doing incredible jobs making the market on Bitmart, and he's going to continue working with us as we list on these larger exchanges. So I want to speak for a minute about the pivot and strategy. So it seems like it would be really easy to just develop stuff and show you, right? But it's important to understand the difference between the two customers that we are serving. The first customer is you guys as holders, and that's just, there's really no purpose for our technology to be utilized by you folks. And you know, that sucks because it's very complicated shit to try to explain to lay people, and that doesn't mean that in an offensive way at all. But this is dense stuff. That's why that's why no one else has done this, right? Because it's not easy to trace. It's a whole new methodology of forensic accounting through these ledgers, and then it's just numbers and hashes, and it's so convoluted. So you know, if we tried to somehow visualize that, it would actually be opening ourselves up, making ourselves vulnerable for fudders to come in and muddy the water, because it would be so difficult for such a large number of people to really like digest and invest the time to understand in, right? That they would just throw a bunch of dirt and mud into the mix and noise, and the fudders might actually come out ahead. So that's why we don't want to be baited into doing that, right? And the fudders, of course, know that's now it has to be their tactic. They have to go, what are they hiding, right? So this is just a cat and mouse game. This is just a dance we have to play. But it's really important you don't fall for that, especially if I'm just unreachable for some reason. I'm sure there's an explanation. It's because I'm hiding or running off to Mexico, right? So it did become clear, though, that it would help to have a consumer-facing product. So, first, let me talk about the second customer. That's the first customer, you folks. The second customer is obviously our partners. It's other projects that want to preserve their liquidity from manipulation, who want to integrate with our technology so that we take the guesswork out of it, and we just become the experts in this field, and they can focus on whatever they're building. Now, those customers are very few and far between because they're not your average shitcoiner. Most coins that are launching are shitcoins, memes, and scams, low rugs. Most, 80% probably. And so, we have a very small target audience that we need to hone in on, and they're smart. People working on real problems are all really sharp because they see this opportunity, right? They see this is the internet in the 90s. And so they look at our chart. Our chart kind of looks like a rug pull, doesn't it? They look at the chart, they look at the drama, they look at the unique circumstances around our token, around our token supply and liquidity, right? We didn't lock our liquidity. We haven't locked any of our dev tokens, and this is for defensive purposes. If you tie a hand behind your back or two hands behind your back as a project, particularly a project that is directly affronting these corrupting agents, they will have advantage play. They will have a target of weakness that they can outmaneuver around. And so it was really important that we didn't create a handicap for ourselves. Now, if we're an anonymous meme coin launching and we're not locking liquidity and we're not locking tokens, you probably don't want to invest in us, right? But that's why we went through all this brand building and why I staked my reputation on that, to be like, it doesn't make sense that I would throw away my whole life, right, for 400 grand in liquidity, right? I've made that several times over. It doesn't pass the giggle test, as I say. So, but nevertheless, partners they saw us take a beating. I have to be transparent when I'm talking to prospective partners. So I have to talk about what Corey and Koromaru knew, and now what, I guess, has been doing, and the drama they're creating. And it's not good optics. That's why they're doing it. It doesn't make us look good to have to respond to that. But not responding to that creates opportunity play, as I said, for the fudders to go, why isn't he answering, right? And that has this big butterfly effect back to everyday people in the Telegram, where they'll go, yeah, why isn't he answering that, right? So it's a complicated game we're playing, and I appreciate everybody maintaining an open mind and being patient with that and helping. It's also not a good look for me to be the only one defending, because it just looks like I'm the only guy that that's rational. But it's like, I know that a lot of you understand this, and so definitely feel free to speak up and help to educate in my absence, and to clear up that FUD, because as you saw over the holidays, we can run around. So those are the two customers, and they have very different needs and that's what we're serving. And so, we've decided to build a consumer-facing product. And so the consumer-facing product that we're building is going to be a instant rug detector. So as soon as a token lists, we'll just tell you with a degree of certainty, and a margin of error, how confident we are that that is definitely a scam, or has some what percentage of suspicion does that have? I know that there's other products out there like Safe Shield that does something similar, but they scan the contract. We're not going to mess with contract. There's Token Sniffer, right? They do kind of a similar thing, but a lot of those things are a little bit delayed, and they hit people right away. Uh, um, the scams hit people right away. They're over in the first 10 minutes, right? So we're going to be instantaneous. That should be ready. I don't want to be ready, but it's going to be on our website, and that should, that's tangible value. That's utility. There's a lot of people who get hit by these things because they don't know how to read through the Etherscan ledgers, and they don't know how to identify what are suspicious transactions and what are not, what are clever disguises and what are not. But we do. We have all of those patterns, and we have all of that data. We have an enormous amount of data. So that's one of the pivots in strategy. Is we've put some development resources to that. We don't need development resources on our automation and AI yet, because frankly, we're not AI experts. And what we need to do is we need to hire a lead AI engineer, and that's expensive. And we have not had as much revenue as we were expecting, so we have not been able to scale up that fast and hire that key expert. But once we do, then yes, you're going to start seeing progress updates on that part of the roadmap. That's why we also kept the roadmap kind of high level, because we knew that all these things could change on the fly. The second pivot and strategy that we've made is we want to start deepening our liquidity pool, and we don't want to be the only ones who are at risk for impermanent loss and for dumping. So it's very simple. The concept is we need wingmen, right? If other people in the ecosystem believe in our mission and they believe in me, they know we're not scammers, well, put your money where your mouth is, right? The problem is we don't have yet an incentive program for them to pool liquidity. If there's not a lot of volume, so they're not going to be collecting a lot of fees, right? So, who am I to say, if you're really supporters, you pool liquidity, right? That'd be ridiculous. So, we're going to prioritizing this. Now, we had this on our roadmap from the start. You've probably been in other projects that do auto liquidity pooling. The problem that those projects run into is that the project itself ends up competing with the third-party liquidity partners, because as more and more as they build their liquidity position up, they take a larger percentage of the Uniswap fees, and so that actually creates a disincentive for LPs to stay in those projects, and that's why those projects have irrational volatility to the upside and crash down all the time. And you see a giant hill, right? A bell curve. So what we're doing is we're going to be, from time to time, taking some of our revenue, some of our profits, and pooling back in liquidity. But we're going to airdrop our liquidity tokens, and we're going to airdrop those to the existing third-party LPs who are participating in the pool, proportionally to whoever else is in there. Now, why are we doing this? Well, for one, we're gonna lock them. They're gonna invest. And two, if at key levels of price action and volatility, if we're creating a sort of discount, we're kind of creating a premium on the additional risk. It's a risk hedge on additional impermanent loss, because we're just giving them tokens that they can claim as long as they don't draw down liquidity for the period that those airdrop tokens are vesting. And what it means is we need to create a DApp, whatever you want to say, for LPs. So you'll be able to connect LPs. Will be able to connect their wallet to our website, and it's going to be able to show them how much airdropped and vesting LP that they have to claim. And then once the and so it actually baits them and incentivizes them. Baits is the wrong word. That sounds negative, but it truly incentivizes them to layer in some of their own additional liquidity, knowing that they're going to have this, this sort of premium, this sort of bonus if they just stay in, right? And so as long as we time that right and plan that right, and our market maker loves this, by the way, we think that we are going to have one of the safest scaling liquidity depths. It's not going to crash out like a ohm. We actually are really excited about this, and I haven't seen any other project doing that. And I think you're going to see a lot of projects doing that if we pull it off. So that's the second thing we're building right now. We have a second developer on, and as we attract more LPs who are going to be interested in this, that's one of the reasons why we just had an OTC order today. There's a lot of people who are starting to see my Twitter spaces that I'm hosting. There's a lot of people starting to understand what we're doing here and how we're taking a lot of hits on the chin from the fudders, but deliberately so, because we have a long vision strategy. And it's okay that price retraced 70% from our all-time high. The all-time high shouldn't have been that high. That was a fluke, right? We said it was not going to moon, and we were wrong. we came into launch with a tremendous amount of tailwind, and we didn't have enough liquidity. We couldn't manage it. It's my first token launch, guys. Sorry, I'm not perfect. So it doesn't matter that it's 70% or whatever, right? And we're down what, 50% or 48% from our list. I mean, that's what the market's down from the day that we listed, right? So we're not that far off from the mark, believe it or not. And I'm not just trying to make excuses. Things have not gone great, but considering the kind of fights we've had to fight, and considering how coordinated these attacks are, I think we're doing a pretty good job. So contrary to what the fudders would have you believe. So these are the core project updates that I want to run by you. And for the people who just came in, we just closed our second centralized exchange listing. That's going to happen. We're going to announce later this week. It's a bigger exchange than Bitmart, and they are extremely bullish on our project, and they kept saying that. And I also want to reiterate that we've never beat the pavement. We've never cold called a single exchange, and we've had 11 reach out to us individually, independently, trying to court us and trying to pitch us on why their exchange is the right exchange. Now, these are intelligent people. These are career crypto business development people who are researching projects at a professional level. Do you really think that I'm a good enough scammer to trick all of them? Right? And this is going back to the FUD stuff, where it's like the claims from the FUD don't even pass the giggle test. I like that phrase. I don't know why, but it doesn't even make any sense. A lot of times their own internal logic doesn't make sense, and it frustrates the bejesus out of me, because I always take the bait and argue with them. But anyway, these are the core updates that I wanted to give you guys, and I want to give ample times, 20 to 30 minutes, or until my lungs give out, to take Q&A. So, anybody just try to be organized. Anybody can unmute their mic and ask a question if you have something specific. Does that mean like you're all completely satisfied? Like I'm the fucking man? Is that what that means? I didn't expect this.
Yeah. Sorry, I was was on mute as well. Great speech. I don't know, Q&A, whatever you call it. Well spoken. Is there any plans to dox the devs? Because is it just yourself that's doxed at the moment? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. I believe that I do believe one of them, the lead dev, does want to dox. I just have to confirm. But anybody who works on the project is doxed to me. So there's always going to be a chain of accountability. But what I struggle to do is expose my team to like death threats and all of this additional stress with affiliate associated with fully doxing, right? So again, I'm kind of staking my reputation and my ability to vet people, my ability to judge proficiencies in certain skill sets, that at least I'm vouching for them. And then anybody who does want to dox, of course, they're welcome to dox.
Can you dig it in the chat? Is asking, is the airdrop after this?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I'm gonna try to go right to work on the airdrop. There's no reason why we're withholding it, guys. I mean, I know you guys think that it's like we're just trying to like delay the any dump offs. It's let's say that half the people the unlocking token supply dump. We're unlocking 6 billion tokens. That's it. Okay, that's all it has left to drop right now, and we have more than double that still being held by tier 3. All right, so we have plenty of depth in our liquidity, and also our downside volatility is pretty high. So if the price starts to dump, it's going to start to get pretty silly to dump off anything, right? I mean, if this is your first rodeo in crypto, is just wait for it to come back. I mean, maybe this is a bear market, or maybe it's not, but we're not going to be one of those projects that just goes away. We have a tremendous amount of skill and intellect and parties behind us that are going to keep us going through any sort of winter that we might encounter. But honestly, I think that projects like ours, utility projects with true value, I think that they're going to be positioned for like unseen prior thriving. I think they're going to thrive if this is a bear market. I honestly believe that because they're going to be the only ones around, right? They're going to be the only ones around actually measuring and adding tangible value to the ecosystem. So that's going to be where I think a lot of support starts to flow. While all the memes sort of die off, the DJ casino will die down a little bit, right? But that's not where you want to be anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'm not intimidated if this is the bear market, but I do believe that we're about to go back up.
Nice. Okay. Is anyone else getting feedback off Booker? I can hear myself.
Yes.
Can we mute him, or can you got a question, dude? Oh, cool. Guess not. Can you see
I mean,
the
if I
chat?
got you, if it was satisfactory, you could say that. But I don't hold any punches. Like I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to take offense to anything that you ask if you just want to ask something, right?
So
Okay. Yeah. Oh, go
go ahead,
ahead.
mate. No, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask because I've been in this like as long as everybody else probably or close. But is there any way you could? I typed it in the chat, but is there any way you could keep your mods maybe just a little more informed on what's up, where you're at, so that because even those of us that are still with you on this, like 100%, like man, it gets a little old when nobody knows anything, nobody's heard from you, nobody can really answer a question, and the FUD is hard to fight whenever it's coming, but there's no information coming to counter it, other than where's Josh? I don't know. I mean, he's
Completely right. I mean that's a completely fair criticism, and I'm going to do a better job. This caught me off guard, and it's hard to put in words how sick I got, but nevertheless, I only let 2 people know because I was kind of a little bit self-conscious, I guess you could say, but also I was worried that Butters were going to use that to be like he's the leader, everybody jump, right? So I was just thinking about those things, and I thought that some silence and some chaos would be the lesser of 2 evils, but that's not going to be this scenario going forward. So going forward, everybody's going to have to be a lot more informed, and we're going to have weekly, meetings and updates, and create some process, hire a project manager, right? Create a Kanban board, create
Stand up.
Jira workflow, all 9 yards.
yeah, cool. Thank you.
So you say that it's not tangible for, I guess, the layman or general investors, right? So, and again, without putting words in your mouth, are we just trusting that? Because we're not seeing any kind of tangible asset at the moment, right? So when will we have a tangible that this is what GTFO does kind of thing?
Yeah. It's kind of like,
Does that make sense? Sorry,
it does, absolutely. This has been our nightmare, man. Like you're welcome to the party. It's been so difficult, this challenge of, well, first of all, the communicate and don't want to believe just how much they're getting scammed. It's enormous. It's bigger than the reported market cap of DeFi is how much people are getting stolen. But like we're the only ones saying that, and it sounds ludicrous, right? So we don't have a ton of upside to go out and say that. But at the same time, if we don't say that, then there's a limited amount of context that we can provide into how many different schemes there are, how complicated it is to track, and why you need dedicated experts on that, staying on top of that, as opposed to having every project fend for themselves. So it's just this sort of, it's a nightmare, man. And and then it is tricky. I mean, I missed some stuff, and I call some things wrong because it's just, you start seeing so many hashes and numbers and wallets and balances, and then it all blends together. And then if you throw FUD in the mix, where they can like make it seem like it's something it's not, then you got to get this like infinite, endless argument that happens in the community. I ran into this when I was working on Call of Duty. It was an endless debate where people wanted to understand how tick rate worked. People wanted to understand how anti-lag worked, and people wanted to understand why they're shooting guns and their bullets are bending around corners. But as the interface between that, it's actually not productive to have that conversation, to that level of technical conversation in the community, because there's a lot of amateur community programmers who might think that they have the solution to the problem. Oh, you guys are just doing it wrong. But believe me,
90% of people, it's just going to be Arabic to them, right? If they don't understand Arabic, it's
but they think they do, because human humor,
right?
So it just turns into this never-ending argument. So believe it or not, it was one of the lessons I learned, is that sometimes just not talking about it is the lesser of two evils. But it's never a good answer to hear that. I never found a good way to say that, because it kind of almost sounds condescending, right?
Well, yeah, everyone's got an ego.
So, like, do you have any prospects for your product? Or
yes, actually, we do have 2 live leads. One is going to be deploying in March. We got a little time to spend there, and the other is going to deploy sooner. But we had like 4 other ones right over the holidays, and that's when I crashed out. And then some of them deployed without us. Some of them were like, "What the fuck? Like, this guy's so unprofessional. He's just disappeared." But they just, I followed up with them later, and they understand and they apologize. But it's a lost lead, right? So, real inconvenient timing. But again, we're not going to not be developing, trying to develop new leads and partnerships. But we're also not necessarily going to be so reliant on it anymore either, with the consumer-facing product that we have in development right now, and with that LP product. But yes, once we have partners, that's kind of the magic of our tokenomic, right? Where they're swapping the 1.9% of their daily volume effectively in for our tokens, and that's creating it. Just, you have a few partners, and we're going to have a flying price. And that's why we need this LP scaling system as well, right? So that's why we kind of bumped that up as well.
Yeah.
So, like, am I misunderstanding? So at this point, there's really nothing, but we're hoping, as far as a customer.
There is a live contract, and we did successfully demonstrate that we mitigated our liquidity drains from our attacks. Not we took more water on than we would have liked, but nevertheless, we saved more than 1.9% of our volume, right? So, just by catching them, detecting it ahead of time, and blacklisting those accounts. So, that and that code is public. We didn't encrypt. We didn't encode the contract, nothing to hide. So, you can go and read that and see what kinds of base manipulation range-based manipulation, quantity-based manipulation that are going to allow partners to detect. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to play with. I mean, it's just you're really early, so you have an opportunity to like be at the ground floor something great. If what I've described sounds logical, and it is, and if what is hard work and and tangible work product in the contract, right, which is unique. There's no other contract like it on the chain. Um, you know, though, I mean, if I were an investor, that would be really bullish indicators for me. It's a unique project, man. I mean, it's not. You probably notice the vibe is different, right? I mean, first of all, I'm a polarizing motherfucker. Not everybody likes me, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. And then secondly, it's the we're not doing this like pamp it. We're not doing the buy the dip. We're not doing the LFG. I mean, it's not just constant spam of hype and speculation. Huh?
It's when people say "wag me" all the time. We're gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means, to be honest. So that's I'm probably a little bit on the zealot side of that and idealist side of that. I mean, at the end of the day, we do exist in the world that we live in, and so I've kind of I've instructed the team, the mods, to you can excite people, right? You can, up to a degree, just kind of experiment with it, but we don't want to come. I actually think that if we weren't so different, we might have died over the holidays, because I think that
show don't tell, right?
Yeah, I think that people, if they saw everything standard fare and we were still failing, that would be like, oh shit, like the rug pull. I think that the fact that we weren't doing all that speculative hype shit, I think that bought us a lot of credibility, because it's like, well, if we were rugging, we would have been lying, we would have been lit up the whole time, right? So again, people I think see that and intuitively understand that, and when the FUDers come in and start lying, spewing their bullshit, I think that that had a huge impact on people's perception.
So what's what are your objectives, or what's the plan for, I don't know, this week, next week, in the next fortnight or month, if you can be that specific? I don't know.
Across the pond, I appreciate that. Fortnight's what, 14 days?
Oh, sorry, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
I'm speaking English.
I mean,
English.
we should be listed on our second exchange by then. Now, I've seen some of the chat. People are like, we don't want to list on exchanges until we have all this other stuff. I disagree. I just patently disagree. I think that the larger we can build our base on just the mission alone, the vision, why wouldn't we want to take advantage of that? Right? Like that is hugely bullish. If there's that many people so excited about our vision alone that they're going to come in, that's going to be wasted opportunity if we didn't do that. So we want to get exposure to a wider audience on this. We want people seeing some of the scar tissue, the battle wounds we've been taking on, because we're still standing, and we're not bragging, we're not taking victory laps, but we're also not going and taking our ball and going home. We have plans for all of this, and we want to grow our base of support as much as possible before our price starts flying when we add partners in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And partner tokens don't. This is also interesting, guys. Our core liquidity, our core utility, which is preserving automated market making DEX liquidity, has no value to centralized exchanges. Right? They make their market. So
right.
There is no use case on centralized exchanges, and yet they're coming out of the woodwork to support us. They're coming out of the woodwork to list us, because they understand that this has to happen. If it's not us, it's going to be someone else. We have to solve this problem of consumer protection, and we can't have it come by way of just regulation, by the SEC. Right? It's not going to work in DeFi, and so we like our format, but maybe someone else come up with a better one. But in the meantime, centralized exchanges recognize that is a really hot asset potential, and that's why they're listing us. And we've knocked on no doors. We've had 11 different exchanges reach out to us in the last 3 weeks. and 2 of them are big, right? A bit Martin bigger. So
Nice.
yeah, it's a great position we're in, guys. And I just wanted to, I don't want to overplay it, but I also don't want to understate it. That's I'm blown away. I mean, I can't believe that we have to turn down so many of these offers.
That's a good problem to have.
Yes, but a bad problem to have is going silent for 3 fucking weeks and having a bunch of them scratching. I go, what the fuck is this guy doing, right? So I'm having to do the apology to her, but everybody understands, and of course, unique circumstance.
Sorry, I feel like I'm hogging the floor, but I'm going to keep going until someone else interrupts. What about competitors? Are there any? Are you aware of what they're doing?
There's no competitors that we're threatened by. There's competitors that most of the competitors are scams, but we can't go.
Right.
We're in a tough spot because we can't go, even with good receipts. There's enough like gray area where they'll just make it look like we're flooding them, right? And then it looks like sour grapes, and I just don't think that that's a good look for us. So they'll fail on their own. The market's going to do its thing, but no, there's nobody remotely close to us right now, and that also is part and parcel to the wealth of data that we have. I mean, I was researching for the last 9-10 months, just deep research. I have anyway, just an enormous amount of data that gives us
can I
a huge
just
head start.
So when you say you've got an enormous amount of data, so, and I might be showing my ignorance here, beyond the blockchain, the ledger, transaction logs, etc. What kind of are you talking about? Some metadata about people who own those wallets, or is it?
No, you can't do that. There's no rights dealing to.
No. Yeah, I get that. It's just I'm just trying to understand what.
Well,
is it like you've done some kind of mapping, or just something tangible, really?
Oh yeah. So like that mapping is not it's not very elegant, right? But that's exactly what we need to have a big. We need to hire a key data scientist to come in and make that data more consumable, more useful, right? We need to hire an AI engineer to turn that data into products, right? Because we're jack of all trades as entrepreneurs are, but far with it, right? So
and I'm sick of going through Etherscan ledger logs, going from transaction to prompt. Kill me.
I was in the same position where I was like, this is clearly an opportunity for a utility project. Like, just make this better.
You're going to save a lot of people's mental health. I think, never mind make money, it's just going through those freaking long numbers, man. Or hexadecimal, whatever.
Yeah, I would encourage
Jesus.
I would encourage you to, make sure you log in, create custom labels. That's what I do. And then like it makes it easier for when you load up a page of transactions, all of a sudden a wall will jump out and these labels attached. You go, oh shit, there's a connection. Right.
I didn't even know you could. Okay, I thought you had to pay. All right, so you can actually. Okay, cool, nice one, thank you.
It's gonna make your life a lot easier, but it's still not great.
Yeah, if we can automate it, that's always the best approach. I'm lazy.
One of these AMAs I'm going to do a video sharing. And I'm going to walk you guys through some of the process that I started on. And again, I'm not going to be able to walk you through some of the tech and some of the databases and infrastructure we built. But I will just kind of walk people through how obvious it can be if you do a lot of work to create those labels, to create those linkages. I think people find it fascinating. There's a huge element, just like Ty said, we've got to trust. You're doing real work. It's like, well, no, I mean, I can show you behind the curtain on some of it, right? But we just haven't had the opportunity to do that yet in the prioritization.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that. Like a coffee shop almost, or a brown bag session, whatever you call it. That'd be pretty cool. Yep.
So yeah, I hope you guys. I hope you guys have a little bit more. Breathe easy, rest easy tonight.
Hope you feel better as well, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go take some cough medicine and try to get those paragraphs. If they don't go out tonight, guys, I promise they're gonna be out tomorrow or sometime soon. Again, it's not. I mean, I'm not trying to prevent anyone from dumping. It would be good if you dumped, honestly, right now, because it would create a
nice entry point.
I know, right? So, like, I don't recommend it, but you're welcome to. But that's not the why. It's just the plate's full, and I'm not at 100% yet.
All right. Well, thanks for the AMA, dude, and get well
All right,
soon.
buddy. Yeah, hey, Gort, I'm glad you stuck around for it. Hopefully you'll stick around in the channel.
Cheers,
Yeah,
dude.
thanks, Josh. It's a lot better hearing you talk than
thanks, everybody.
reading those goddamn novels you type. Just saying.
I could
I'll
speak in novels
stick in
too,
that.
Lawler. Yeah, I could speak in novels too.
You gotta be
you
careful,
do.
man.
Yeah, but you speak a lot better than those long ass novels that you type up, man. I'm like, you lose
I
me.
type
But
111 words per minute.
I bet you do.
It's a weird
you
flex,
put
but
all 111 in that down every post. But
No, it's Josh is typing at the top of the window. It's like, oh god,
yeah,
I need more RAM.
yeah.